A motion by Helmut.
Welcome to Minutes by Minute. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
And we're here to talk about what goes on in the village, the township. You know, those people that make laws and regulations that affect you out there.
That's right, Elgin. And whether you live in the village of Oxford, the village of Leonard, Addison Township, or Oxford Township, these are the people that you went and elected, and we'll get that opportunity again on November 7th. And these committees and commissions make decisions that directly affect you, whether you chose to go to that meeting or not. And that's why we're here.
Right. And if you did not attend those meetings, this is a good place to learn what went on in those meetings. Except one of us may embellish a little bit and spread a thing called rumors.
Right. And most of what he says is mostly true.
Mostly true, it is, right. And there's also humor.
That's right.
Each of these meetings will have humor that will either float to the top or
sink to the bottom.
Sink to the bottom. But you'll find out. Try to differentiate between the two as we go through this.
The cream and the dregs.
You can actually catch these meetings, in their entirety by going to our website, occtv.org.
Click on program, and you got a slice and dice little drop-down menu on the side. You can go, and if you choose Village of Oxford, everything from Village of Oxford will be there in front of you in reverse date order.
At your leisure. And you can have, your soft drink and popcorn, and you can enjoy it that way.
No commercials.
No commercials. Okay, let's talk about a few meetings that came up, shall we?
Yes.
Okay, the first one is the Township of Oxford Board of Trustees meeting held on September 12th. And then we're going to try to talk about the Addison Township Board of Trustees on September 17th. And there's a couple of recaps I want to do if we get time to do it for the Village of Oxford Village Council.
Okay.
We shall see. Okay. Let's talk first then about the Township Oxford Board of Trustees. William Dunn is the supervisor of the township, and he serves as chairman of this board. Joe Ferrari is the treasurer. He's on the board. Curtis Wright is the clerk. Jack Curtis is a trustee, as is Margie Payne, Patty Durr, and
his truly.
Yep, I would be one of those guys. Kelly Richter is the recording secretary for this particular meeting. Does a great job too. They did the pledge, of course. The agenda was approved by Curtis Wright, and he did move a few items around, kind of like chess, and put them in different spots, just to confuse the issue.
Well, sometimes that's based on when people are available.
Right. Well, I can tell you this much: Curtis Wright is very exacting. So there's a place for everything, and this was the place for each of these things. And he put them there, and it was approved. So that would be the consent agenda was next, and it was approved quickly. And public comments, not on the agenda. Jeff Kuzy was an individual that stood up, and he's from Bull Run subdivision. And he was concerned about a driveway entering the subdivision and certain parameters concerning that. And
is the driveway a private road, or is it a...
no, it's going to, I guess, access an area close to his property, and he's concerned about that. But keep in mind that during this public comments area, the board does not speak. It's an opportunity for the public to bring up subjects and just make the board aware of certain issues.
If discipline is followed.
If discipline is followed. Right. That's exactly right. Second reading then of an ordinance and amendments to procedures was one of them. Definitions to this particular ordinance, and also an addition for the solar energy systems. Now, we talked about that before, where they have to update the solar energy portion of this particular ordinance. And all of that quickly was approved.
Changing technology.
Changing technology all the time. Watch it when they do these solar energy cells and then stick a propeller on it. Call it wind solar energy unit. I don't have any idea, but it'll probably happen.
It could be a hybrid unit.
A hybrid, yeah, that's what they're called. Fire department want to know if there's anything that the fire chief wanted to bring up, and there's nothing at this point. The budget workshop was the next subject that came up. They want to change the date from September 19th to September 28th at 7 p.m. And so that was approved. That would be on a Friday. Jack Curtis says, Friday? Earth. And I think Bill Dunn says, well, I'll buy you a drink. He says, okay, I'm in.
Okay.
So that did it. New business. Change of law firms. They currently are using a law firm, Geo Marco, Mullins and Horton is a firm that they were using. But two of the people that serve in this firm have left, and they formed their own agency or their own law firm.
Okay.
And that would be Kelly, called the Kelly Firm, PLC. And
PLC, not
Yeah.
LLC?
No, not LLC, PLC. And it would be Dan Kelly, who's a prime actor in this particular business. And he has a partner also that's working with him. And they do prosecutions. Now, we don't prosecute anybody from the township level, but the police department does. And,
Right.
and Lieutenant Patterson then stood up and he gave a presentation to the board briefly about, you know, what a great job that these two men who have represented the police department for some number of years.
Actually, the sheriff's department.
Sheriff's department, yes. The sheriff's, county sheriff.
Right.
So, anyway, it was almost immediately approved, so that took care of that. And we have a new legal representation, even though they're old, new legal. That's the way it turned out. Not that old, but they are the old ones we used to use, or our new ones now
That's
that we're
right.
going to use.
They prosecute, don't
They
persecute.
prosecute, don't persecute. So anyway, Squaw Lake was the next subject that came up, and Clear Lake as well, an SAD, Special Assessment
District.
Yep. And a Special Assessment District was petition was taken up, and the number of people that signed it was over 50%, so it was approved. And actually, what happened is they did have a SAD in advance, you know, in the last few years, but it expired, and
What
so
was
they
it
want to
for?
renew it for weeds in the lake.
Ah,
So they want to get rid of those nasty old weeds, and it did a good job before, and they just want it ongoing.
okay.
So this was approved, went forward with it. Next one was a step system that came up. Are you familiar with step system for employees and how you're graded, how you advance into the next step?
Well, you need steps to get up into the
You
entrance.
do, and there's right, and then the door is open, and all of a sudden it closes.
And it worked.
And it worked.
No, tell me about it.
So anyway, the step system they've had in existence for something for a long, long time, and the township, Michigan Township Association, has a list, I guess you might say, out there posted that provides statistics as to what other townships and municipalities pay their people.
Okay.
You know, be it a clerk or whatever, you know, all the way down the line.
That's usually
To the
based
janitor.
on other financial considerations that are unique to that township or area.
It is. And this is the same step system that they use and we've used as a township, you know, for some time. But it's kind of needs tweaked. It kind of needs some adjustments made to it. So the committee that was placed to examine the employee evaluations and also look at this step system thought that would be a good idea if a committee was formed consisting of the township supervisor, the treasurer, and the clerk
I see.
to put this together and bring it forward next month, you know, to this board as far as recommendation, what can be done to improve it. Because some of these employees that are dead end position, they're as high as they can go.
Mm-hmm.
And they've not received any kind of a raise for some long period of time. Well, the next step that we're going to go to is this committee was looking at, as I said, the employee evaluations. And guess who was on that committee? Myself and Patty Durr.
Ooh.
Okay, so it took some time to evaluate this because we went through.
Well, they have to have someone to blame for not getting a raise.
That's right. I think that's why they picked us out. Darn, where can we hide? I have no idea.
Who's expendable here?
Who's expendable here? Yeah, it could work that way. But we went through over 1,000 bits of information and stats, you know, from the Michigan Township Association that they had available and compared. And I'll give you the results of what that was when we come back right after this, folks. Welcome back to Minutes by Minute. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
And we are talking about the STEP system and the employee evaluations that the Oxford Township had. And being on that board, what we discovered in looking at the Michigan Township Association records and statistics, that Oxford Township actually pays their employees pretty well. We only found 3 that could compare what this township does in terms of finances for their employees.
Population, what have you.
Yeah, it goes with population, tax base, and so forth.
Sure.
You know, properties. So
Who
they're
were
all-
they?
Well, I want to say out of those 3, there's only 1that even came close. So there's no use even mentioning it. And what we found is the benefits also for Oxford Township employees were much better, stronger than what some of these others were. So we have a very good benefit program, and you can, folks that work for the township, you can understand that the clerk and the treasurer and so forth work very hard and diligently to make sure that you get these benefits, you know, and the amount that you're getting, and for the value that you're getting them for. So I think they've done a great job on that.
Good benefits, good employees.
Good, excellent employees. We interviewed all of the supervisors, and the supervisors of the clerks that work for the township. When you go to the hall on Pontiac Street, they've all said that all their employees are trying to better themselves. Most of them are going to additional night
On
school.
Pontiac Street?
Is it? Oh, not Pontiac Street.
Dunlap.
Dunlop. Thanks for the correction there, bud.
No
I tried to
problem.
move the building, you know. You can move a lot of things. Can't move him. Can't move buildings.
Oh, you had me concerned there for a while.
That's
Stuff
good.
I didn't know.
I was thinking Pontiac Street because I was thinking there should be a light there, but
There's a school.
that's a whole different subject. You ever get stuck on Pontiac Street and can't turn? Yeah, that's it. Needs a light. Anyway, we've discussed that before, and somehow during this discussion of going on with the township, this Pontiac Street popped into my mind. So I got to be careful here, and can't be dual processing
That was
here.
one of those
Yeah,
moments.
it was a beep. There it is. And then I got this guy that kicks me in the ribs and says, "Hey, you got to get back on track." That's good. That's what he's here for.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
I was wondering what that was for. Okay. So anyway, to summarize everything, these employees do an excellent job, and what was approved is that they will not be getting a raise. There's only 2 people who did go up 1 step. One went 2 steps because she was below a level that she should have been. And the others, however, we felt it was a good idea to give them a cost of living. Now, keep in mind that the township supervisor, the treasurer, and the clerk all declined any raise increase. So they said, you know, pass it on to others if you can. So,
Wow.
very nice. So that's the way it ended up, and everybody's pretty happy and content down there at the township.
Good job.
Thank you. Good job. They do. That's why they were given what they were given. There's many years have gone by, they don't have to give out a cost of living, but in this case, I think they're very deserving. So, okay. They should do that for Social Security for you folks out there as well. That's a whole different subject. Should we get into that one? No, we won't. Okay. Fire department wage increase came up right after this, and that one was interesting. Joanne Edmonds, who serves as a finance manager for the fire department, she's been on the job for about 4 years, and really she's below what she should be in terms of the step chart. So the chief was saying it's a good idea to bring her up to in line with what the chart reads. So they moved her pay from $47,000 a year to roughly $50,000 a year. So anyway, that's what happened from a grade 4 to a step 7. Okay, that was handled. Budget review for fund balances. That's coming up. Deputy Supervisor Deanna Cushing gave a great presentation of each of the line items, and any questions were answered at that time from Deanna. There's going to be another session coming up, a budget meeting, which we're actually going to go piece by piece and review each piece of budgetary documentation and determine, either yay or nay. And that's coming up next Friday, I think it is.
All right.
So, M24 walkway study. There's a bid for that. That they're talking about doing a walkability study and putting in a walkway from Indian Lake Road to Harriet Street and along M24.
Indian Lake Road to Harriet.
Yep. Indian Lake Road to Harriet Street. Yep, that's it.
That's from almost Lake Orion.
Yeah. Well, I think anything with Lake Orion they're going to be doing, but the estimate for doing this is $9,950 is
Will that
the
go
bid.
by the? Will that
And that
go
was a
by
low
the
bid.
on the same side of the street as the golf course is?
I'm not sure about that. I haven't seen the site plan yet.
Okay. I think there was a rail bed.
As soon as
or
I find
something
out,
there
I'll
at
let you
one
know.
time. There was a rail bed there at one time, I think.
Yeah, maybe they could use that rail bed. Maybe that's what they're thinking.
Hence the Pollyant Trail.
Could be. You've been here since Moses, so
Well,
you would know where that. You probably remember the trains going through there, right?
gravel trains.
Gravel trains down the trail track. I don't think that would work. Anyway, they might. Anyway, the next subject that came was a lot split committee. Have you ever heard of a lot split committee?
Not a committee. I've heard of a lot split.
Well, let me put it this way: the lot split committee has hardly ever been used.
Oh.
So Bill Dunn says, I think it's a good idea to get rid of that committee. And I think it was Curtis Wright. He says, yeah, I think that would be a good idea. So they did. They eliminated it.
Someone actually found it.
Somebody actually found it. And who are those people sleeping in the corner? That would be that committee.
If only Congress worked that way.
Right. Yeah, right. Well, you wish they'd go to sleep. Okay. And next thing was the 2020 census is coming up, year 2020. And they're looking for they need to create a complete count committee. Here's another committee. Eliminate one, get another one.
That's right.
That's the way it works. So Jack Curtis, everybody stepped back and he was in front. So they put him as getting on this committee. And one that nominated him to get on this committee was Joe Ferrari. So
You
What
got
happened?
You got it in before someone nominated him.
Bill Dunn says, hey, that's a great idea. Now we need a second backup. And he says, how about Joe Ferrari?
Oh.
Joe Ferrari goes, Arf. He said, well, I guess. And of course, they had a discussion
Wow.
there. Jack Curtis says, it's only fair.
And I'm sure they'll do a very good job.
They will. They very well will. And they're talking about some financial gains here with the census for every individual that they can find hidden under the tree and under the bush.
Mm-hmm.
It's a financial advantage for the township.
I think the school works the same way.
It does. Certification of August 7th, 2018 primary. No, I'm talking about November 7th. Oh, no, this is the primary that they had was approved. In other words, all the
All the
information
counts.
was in.
Yeah, okay.
All the counts were
No challenges.
No challenges. Everything was good.
Okay.
Everybody waved the flag, and they called it quits for that particular primary. That sounds good, huh?
Now they're ramped up for the 7th.
Right. Well, when we come back, we'll talk more, and we'll talk this time about Addison Township Board of Trustees.
Ta-da.
Welcome to Minutes by Minute. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
And we are about to talk about the Addison Township Board of Trustees held on September 17th. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Bruce Pearson is the supervisor of the township and holds that chair position, and Pauline Bennett, clerk. Lori Fisher serves as the treasurer. Jacob Newby is on that board as trustee, and Bill King, Linda Garrick, and Eric Sent. I sit on a couple of boards with Eric Sent. Very sharp guy. Smart.
Pollyant Trail, right?
Yep. You got a good group over there in Addison Township, I have to say. and including Jacob Newby, who's a new guy on there. The newbie, he's a
Yeah,
newbie.
he's also on the OACCC.
He is. Does a good job on there as well. Very diligent. Okay, pledge. Any announcements? No, no announcements. Petitions. No petitions. We're moving along, aren't we? Consent agenda. Amend the agenda to approve. I'm going to make one word here. Agenda to remove Verizon. There's Verizon was supposed to be
Remove Verizon?
from the agenda.
Oh,
They were supposed to give a presentation.
kind of startled me there for a second.
You probably hooked up to Verizon and all of a sudden you're going to lose them. Huh? Okay, that could happen. But anyway, it concerns the tower.
Oh.
Remember the tower situation
yeah,
over there?
yeah.
Yes. So anyway, they were supposed to give a presentation, but they wanted to be removed till the next month's meeting. Minutes for July 16th was quickly approved. Bills for July and August were approved as well. And holiday schedule for the township offices and closures, an amendment to it, and that was approved and went forward. The public hearing was the next thing. Gravel Ridge and Deer Point roads as an SAD, a popular thing, especially when you see snow coming down the pipe. And so what they want to do is make sure that their roads are cleared. There's a $200 per parcel fee for this, and it's for a 5-year period. And they maintain the road as well, if it needs gravel or whatever.
Okay.
So that was quickly approved as an SAD. They had the right number of signatures, which they need a petition, right? And the public hearing then came up for the Glen Meadow Lane area. Now this is a whole list of them. Glenwood Drive, Glenview, Glen Cave, or Cave, Glen Cove, and Glen Valley.
And,
I'm surprised there isn't a Glen Cave. There's
and what
Glen
were they?
everything else.
What were they proposing to do with all these locations?
Well, again, maintenance of the asphalt road this time, to fix cracks and of course remove the
Okay.
snow, wintertime. Now their fee is a little bit different. It's $175 for 5 years. Now you're probably asking yourself,
Per
why
year?
is that? Yeah,
Per year.
yeah, per year. Why is that one 175 and the other one's 200? Depends on the district that there's divided into, and that's the subject that came up down the line here, which we'll discuss. Okay.
Flat rate versus variable rate.
That's something like that. But anyway, the SAD then came up for Donna May and Mary Lane, or Marcy Lane, not Mary Lane. It could be a Mary Marcy Lane.
As long as it's not Mary Jane.
Depends on what Marcy's been drinking. Could be Mary. Anyway, Marcy Lane. Okay, $300 per parcel. Now there's a hoity-toity area, I think. $300 and for 5 years. And road maintenance again and snow. And that was approved immediately.
Okay.
Resolution to set SAD fees. Now there we are, by district, and they have actually a chart that they went by to be, what should we say, politically correct for each area. Financially
Nice.
correct? Financially correct. That's what they want to do.
But is the job the same?
No, well, it could be the same, but let's say you got one house here, nobody else. You want an SAD? Guess who's going to
Well,
pay for that?
well, it depends
you
on
got-
population then.
Right, it depends on population.
More than
And the
finance.
size of the lots, of course.
Sure.
Population. You could have a, what do you call it, an apartment building, sit there, 85 people.
What you're saying is
Still
density.
do. It goes by, yeah, density.
Density.
Well, you're getting pretty sharp in this age. I'll tell you. I remember when density says, I can't think of where density would fit into this. So anyway, now everything is density. You will notice that
Oh, yeah.
everything that we do, he's going to bring up density. And it's because it's an important thing, too. It is.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. He talks about density every time he sees his chipmunks run across his lawn.
No, that's overpopulation.
Right. But you keep moving the density, I know that. It's going to the parks. But anyway, so that resolution was passed. Public forum. Tammy Shamals, I think it is, was concerned about cell tower. Now there's a number of people that stood up and they wanted to complain about the cell tower,
This is the Verizon thing?
the Verizon thing, because it's near the Kingsbury School.
Okay.
And the issues concerning that, the children, and it's not kind of outdoorsy kind of school where you learn things about birds and bees and little critters. And
Were they concerned about radiation?
they are concerned about the radiation, radio frequencies, those kind of things. They're concerned about a tower that's 200 feet high that might fall over. It's 100 feet from the playground.
Didn't
There's
they
all
describe
kinds of
that
issues.
originally as a telescoping kind of a tower?
It's what they call a monopole.
Monopole.
Yeah, it's a single pole that is designed to collapse within itself.
Yeah.
You know, so if it were to fall, it would fall internally. Kind
Right.
of like these explosions they have for buildings. You know, they want to implode them.
Yeah.
They fall in one spot, still all over the place.
If they do it right.
They do it right. Now the one like the Pontiac Stadium, they had a little problem with that. They didn't do it right.
Well, didn't they have somebody actually tell them that the radiation problem is not really a problem at all?
The government did.
Yeah.
So
You trust the government?
Well, this is part of the government.
I
Now they're
see.
complaining to the government about the government policies. I don't know
Well-
how that's going to work, but I'll see how
Well-
would that work out for you.
At the root of it, though, do they consider it unsightly?
No, they figure they can dress it up like a Christmas tree.
Oh, sure. But I mean, the
Skinny
school,
Christmas-
the people around the
Christmas
school, though.
The school? Well, yeah, they do because
What's their
they,
big objection?
they say, you know, it's a private school. So when parents come to, you know, have their children possibly join into that school, they look out there and say, hey, what's that?
It's 5 bars on your cell phone.
Yeah, right. But I think ecology-wise, they're not too happy with it. You know, most people that show up and want to put their kids in, so
But they still have their cell phones.
they still have their cell phone. Yeah, right. What's with that? They got it right next to their ear. Yeah.
Oh, well
Got
then.
flames coming out the other side. And right, that's a good point. But anyway, they have covered this, and actually, they had attorneys and people from the phone company, communications company present in other meetings before this was finally
Yeah.
approved.
I remember those.
Yeah. So went through a long process, but there are others that stood up. I mean, there's a gentleman that stood up, and he has statistics that was about yay thick from all over the world about various countries that were putting controls on these towers and so forth, and the reasons why they were doing it. So they all had their opportunity to speak, which is what this is all about. You do get an opportunity to speak. Then the next thing that came up was Fire Chief Morawski. He said, you know, this council is doing such a great job in your support of the fire department that I have a nice little plaque here for you. And he said what has happened is when they rate fire departments, we're rated as a 3. Now he said a 10 would be considered not having water available and all that kind of thing. He said we've gone from a 9 all the way to a 3, which places us nationwide in a group of about 3,000 fire departments.
That's kind of in the reverse of the normal 1 to 10
It
rating,
is,
isn't it?
and I was
10
looking
would
for
be
that.
perfect.
Right. So anyway, he was pretty delighted over it, and he provided a plaque, and he said part of their success is due to the support that they have from the council.
Well, good work
So
for them.
It was. And with that, what's coming up?
Well, you don't have that many meetings. We're transitioning into October. So on
Yes.
October 1st at 7 o'clock, the Village of Oxford Zoning Board of Appeals. And on 10/2 at 7 o'clock, the Village of Oxford Planning Commission. And on 10/6,
10/6.
the Scarecrow Festival will take place between 10 and 4 in Oxford,
You gotta
Village
be
of
there.
Oxford.
Don't be late. Be there.
Absolutely.
I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny, and I can hear the rain coming down.
I hear the rain. Catch you next time right here on Minutes by Minute.
Bye.